Okay, good morning. So last night, in preparation for today, I threw some brake fluid in the master cylinder and cracked a few bleeders and let some stuff settle out. And I got a couple leaks. I got a little drip right there. You can see it. And I got a pretty good leak back here. This fitting is, I don't know. I took it apart, looked at it. Gotta drain the system, I guess, and try to figure out what's going on with this. Not what I really wanted to do. I really wanted to just bleed the brakes and have everything magically work. So, got a couple leaks to contend with. I'll deal with that first thing this morning and start from there. I'll show you what I do when I get this fitting apart here. I use this vacuum bleeder. These things work great. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that line off, stick this on it, and then suck the tank dry so I'm not swimming in fluid back here. And we'll start with that, I guess. I guess the other thing I could do is just try to do it through a bleeder. That might be smarter. Just run the system dry through the bleeder, as desperate as that sounds. Anyway, I'll bring you back. Yeah, so basically you just turn the vacuum on and let that thing start pulling. A lot of air in it still. I didn't really get the air out, but it's really bubbly. But it could very well be drawing air in out of my leak right here. So we'll see in a minute. I'm going to drain this down until I see no more fluid coming out. Then I know I got it. This will take a minute. This really kind of sucks because it took a while to get that in there. But we'll see. Okay, almost there. All right, I'm going to pull that fitting apart now and put my hose right on that. Okay, I got this pulled apart. I don't see anything wrong with it. That looks like a really nice flare. It's hard to get it to focus on that. Here's a picture of it up close. And then I thought, well, maybe there's something wrong in here. Don't see anything wrong with that either. Piece of dirt or something, maybe. Anyway, I'm going to blow this all out, take a piece of sandpaper, kind of work the inside edge of that flare a little bit just to smooth it out and see if I can't make it better. If it still drips, I'm going to have to rebuild that line. That's the only choice. But anyway, we'll see what we get. Okay, just took a little bit of Scotch-Brite pad, stuck it in there, squished it around a little bit. That's it, looked pretty good. This fitting up here, I don't know, I might be just wishful thinking, but I think I saw it once I hit it with the Scotch-Brite. Looked like there was a piece of dirt or something in there. So that looks nice and shiny now. I don't really expect that to give me any trouble. So if this doesn't work, I got to pull that whole line out and rebuild it, which ought to be a great time. I did it when the rear end was sitting on the floor before. So, yeah, God. Okay, so I have lowered the car back down, put that back together. Hopefully it'll stay. I want to show you something with these master cylinders. There is a hole that runs through the separator for the front and rear chamber. It makes it a real pain in the ass for bleeding because you could be bleeding the rear and actually get down below fluid level on the front with the way this thing is tilted. This has got an excessive tilt to it. I think before I seal this up, I'm going to have to jack up the rear of the car to get that to level out. But while I'm bleeding, I stuck a little rubber plug in there, a little silicone plug, just to, you know, stop it. Just stop it. I don't know why you have a dual chamber master cylinder when you connect the two chambers. That seems silly to me, but this is like the old death pots on the 55, 6 and 7. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to that right rear now and try to vacuum it out and see if I still have a leak. Okay, I've done an initial bleed. Kind of put some paper towel around in here. There were a few spots that just weren't quite tight enough. If you put a piece of paper towel in, you'll see it turn dark and you'll know right away. Like, this is what I'm talking about, but it's not necessarily a leak from me. It was just an old piece of paper towel. But I look down there, everywhere I see drips, I throw some paper towel underneath it so that hopefully if there's anything else dripping, I'll be able to see it. I took care of that the front fitting up here. That was just just wasn't quite tight enough. I guess I'm just not coming onto these things hard enough. The one in the back, I'm optimistic I've got it, but I'm gonna crank this thing up in the air one more time and we'll see. Nope, still got a drip right there. Damn it. Okay, need to start. May have to pull that one apart and see what's going on. It almost looks like my fitting up there, it's not bottomed out, but it's close. Can't really get you in there, but the flare fitting looks like it's tightened right into the other piece as far as it's going to go. I'll tell you what, I cranked the hell out of that. So probably gonna have to pull that back apart. Let's see if we made any better progress back here. Nope, it's dripping right there. Damn it. All right, I guess I'm gonna have to rebuild that line too. I don't know what it is. I can't see anything wrong with it. One thing I might try is just replacing that A4 adapter, 4AN adapter first. Just see if that, by sheer luck, if that has something to do with it. But that's leaking pretty good. I don't know what's going on there. The flare looks perfect. But it's leaking, so that's that. Let's look at this side. This one's fine, nice and dry. No issues. All the other fittings look good. I haven't seen any other spots that are, it's even starting to rust a little bit. I haven't seen any other spots that are wet. But yeah, that's a bummer right there. But that's an easy one to replace. If I have to rebuild that one's no sweat. Actually, I probably have enough room to reflare that end if I needed to. So, but that means draining it all back down again. So, we're just going to keep pounding on this till I get it. Of course, I haven't put the emergency brake in yet. All the cables are still kind of tied up and just hanging down here. And I'll show you how that's going to go when I get to it. But for right now, I think I got to drain down the front and pull that one more time. And then this back here is going to be a real struggle. I guess it isn't too bad. It just hooks up right here, goes up over the top of the rear end and down to the front. So I think that'll come out of there okay. So I'm going to end up rebuilding that line too. I don't see any choice. Can't have that. I'd really love to know what's going on with it before I did that, but I can't really tell. So I don't know. Maybe I'll change that flare adapter first just to see what it does. No optimism there at all. But this one up here should be super easy. I'll pull this apart and have a look. Okay, so I pulled the front line off, and the only thing the flare looks good. don't see any problems with the flare. It kind of looks pretty nice. The only thing I can see is it looks like it was pushed up on slightly crooked and didn't have a real even flange. You can see where it the flange kind of goes off the side where the nut was clamped. It was like it was on here like this. Like it started out really crooked and then warped itself. So I'm going to redo this flare. I'm going to put a long, this is a 3/8 24. I'm going to put a 3/8 24 long just to give myself a little more ability. Keep it straight. So we'll see what we get. Okay, here it is. Nice fresh flare. Put the longer 3/8 24 long fitting on it instead of the short one. Should give me more room to keep it straight. And I just got to make sure I get this bottom one in nice and straight. That looks to be what the problem was. I just didn't have it lined up perfectly straight when I tightened it, and I tried to use the nut to straighten the pipe, and that's not gonna happen, apparently. So I'm gonna throw this back up in and see what we get. All right, so I got this piece back up in. Seems to be doing fine now. I don't see any drips or leaks, but I'm going to leave it overnight, see what I get. Back here, I got lucky. I was able to pull this whole tube down and took that line right off. Was able to straighten this elbow out, put a taller fitting on it, and that seems good now too. I bled them a little bit. I didn't do this left rear yet, but I bled it off enough so that I know that fitting has fluid in it. So I'm going to let this set, come back tomorrow and have a look and see if we have any other drips. But right now everything seems to be holding. The clutch, master cylinder and slave cylinder is bled. Doesn't seem to be any air in it, but I'm not sure how well the clutch is working. You won't know that until you fire it up. But it does feel like something's happening. Anyway, I'm gonna let it set and we'll see what we get tomorrow. Okay, next day, this fitting's dry. That looks good, no problems. This one up here, not so much. Still leaking. 1 out of 2 ain't bad. No, it sucks. It still sucks. All right, I'm gonna have to drain this side down, try to figure it out again, taking it back apart. I also see some fluid on the loom up there, which looks like it might be coming from the fitting in the back. So I'll readdress all of those once I get this down and get rid of this. You can see it right there. There's a drip on the bottom of the copper. So we'll figure it out. I don't know what else to do but take it apart again and look and see if I can see what's going on with that. It's really strange. Yeah, you can see the fluid coming right out of that fitting. Okay, I'll have a look. Okay, that's going to wrap that up. I think I finally got that bottom flare okay. I bled everything down real good, put the cover on. I'm going to let it sit for a couple days like this and check it again, but everything looks dry now, so drawing a line under that, finally. I also saw I had a little tiny drip coming out of this fitting right here, out of this connection on my power steering. But I just tightened that up a little bit more. It seems fine now. And I had a little, see what I mean here? If there's any drips around this thing, just a little bit showed up on that paper towel. So I tightened this up again. You can kind of see where it was coming out. Kind of ate the paint off it already. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace that paper towel, just put something up in there so that if anything happens again, we'll see it. But I'm going to wrap up this video here on the brakes by doing that. Not sure what I'm going to get into next. Plenty of options. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm at today. I will bring you back when I'm into the next thing.